Aloha everyone and welcome to Skincare with Hyram. If you don't know who I am, my name's Hyram and I'm passionate about teaching you how to perfect your skincare routine. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and to the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week. Also be sure and subscribe to my second YouTube channel I just announced called Selfless. It's focused on empowering you with the ability to make a positive difference in the world, and I'd love for you to be a part of it, so you can subscribe below. You know, it's been a while since I've done one of my truth about videos and I don't know why. I just blame it on my dumbass memory. So I was going through and planning more videos and I realized like, oh my gosh, why did I stop making these? Am I just okay with all brands now? So yeah guys, it's official. I've changed. The day is here. I'm a bought out YouTuber now. Absolutely not. I still have many opinions on so many different brands, and I plan to do a lot more truth about videos, especially because I know we all have a lot more time to do some research on skincare, and I always look for every excuse to drag a brand. No, I'm kidding. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Burt's Bees, a highly requested brand review on my channel. Many of you guys have been asking for it, and I'm so glad to say that I am finally at this point. Took me fucking long enough. Burt's Bees was a brand that I initially discovered from all of your guys' requests, but once I started looking into it, I was like, I am just not a fan. Not into it whatsoever, and while I still do keep some of that sentiment, I have been really surprised by some of my findings, and I really want to get into it in this video. Now with these truth about videos, I oftentimes have very conflicting opinions. I don't know where I stand on a lot of the products, and Burt's Bees is no different. I have some products I love and some products that I absolutely hate, and I want to share all of my opinions with you so that you're more empowered to make smarter skincare decisions when doing your shopping. This is going to be a controversial one, so let's get into it. I'm first going to talk about the brand overall, and then I'm going to go through all of the products ingredient by ingredient because, say it with me, ingredients don't lie, bitch. And then at the end, give my final thoughts as to whether or not I think Burt's Bees is worth it. So Burt's Bees is a super popular brand that you can find at pretty much every drugstore out there. At least in the USA, I've been able to find Burt's Bees everywhere. And they are definitely the epitome of what I would say a natural brand usually embodies. The packaging is very earthy. They say the percentage of natural ingredients on the outside. It's one of those brands that you know originated in a, what are they called? Food market? What's the name of like the food market? Farmers, thank you. Farmers market, that's what it is. It just has that vibe of a brand that was started by hippies at a farmer's market and then got really popular. At least that's how I see it. As far as things that I see are different about Burt's Bees than other brands within this price range and at drugstores is that they're very focused, it appears, on sustainability, which I love because sustainability is something that's really important to me. They have an entire page on the side dedicated to talking about exactly how they source their ingredients and how they make sure that most of the packaging that they use is fully recyclable, and there's just this sense of mindfulness that the company really embodies that I really like. I don't think we as consumers should expect perfection. All I want is for companies to be really mindful in their decision making when it comes to like packaging and sustainability overall. They are carbon neutral certified, which is amazing. Not many companies I know of that can actually say that. They have landfill free operations, which is so cool. The only thing I will say that is kind of iffy is that it's not certain if they are cruelty free. They have been for a long time and they're Leaping Buddy certified, but they also sell in mainland China. I'll link a source in the description box below that kind of breaks it down, but I would just say for anyone who is cruelty free, maybe do a little bit more research. Now that we know a little bit more about the brand, let's get into the products. I will be listing these from my least favorite to my favorite, starting with their Peach Pore Scrub. I bet this surprises no one. This is one of the most popular products I've seen from them, and it's also gotten really popular on TikTok. I don't know why it's so popular on there. By the way, follow me on my TikTok if you want me to react to your skincare routine. It's a fun time. But as far as the scrub, let me just say, if you aren't familiar, I don't like scrubs. I feel like they can be overly damaging to the skin, and we aren't really able to tell when our skin is exfoliated enough and when it's exfoliated too much. When we have options like chemical exfoliation out there, which are much better at getting rid of dead skin and treating a bunch of different issues, I'm not sure why we still have scrubs like this out there. It primarily uses ground up peach stones, which I am not a fan of because they can be very sharp shards that can go too deep into your skin and cause irritation and redness. They also don't break down with water at all, which is worrisome for the safety of the skin. And one of the main ingredients is grapeseed oil. Now, grapeseed oil in low concentrations I think is fine, but within the industry, it's a commonly known ingredient to be adulterated. Basically, that means the manufacturers who source and make grapeseed oil will add a lot of irritating components in order to dilute it to be able to maximize their profits. And this is well known in the industry, which is why I hesitate when I see products that are formulated with a really high concentration of grapeseed oil like this scrub is. And then to top it all off, it's also formulated with fragrance, which I'm just like, why do you need fragrance in a scrub? Like, why? It's so unnecessary. I mean, fragrance is unnecessary anyway, but especially in a scrub, I'm just like, ugh. Anyway, this product is shit. If there was something good I could say about this product, I would say it now, but there's nothing. So moving on. The next product is the Acne Solutions Spot Treatment. Now this one is really popular for putting on pimples and acne across your face to be able to help resolve those, get rid of all the excess oiliness, and help your acne heal. This is part of their popular Acne Solutions line. However, when I was shopping for Burts products like a month ago, I picked up this product, I turned it around, I looked at the ingredient list, and I audibly gasped out loud because that's how horrified I was by this ingredient list. The main ingredient is SD alcohol or denatured alcohol. Now that is an ingredient that I don't like to be used across the face. However, in spot treatments, I think it's okay when it's at, lower concentrations, but I don't think it's the best ingredient to be at a highest concentration. But it's not terrible because it will help to dry out the sebum on that specific spot. However, the next ingredient is lime peel essential oil. Why the fuck? That is one of the highest concentrations of essential oil that I have ever seen in a product. The third ingredient, it just blows my mind. If you aren't familiar, essential oils can be really irritating to the face, specifically citrus-based essential oils. Those are the last things I think that you should be putting on acne or pimples or any type of sensitized skin. Not only that, they can break down easily with UV exposure, causing even more sensitivity, and they should just be avoided altogether if you have any type of sensitive skin or broken skin. It's also formulated with undisclosed fragrance, as well as limonene and limonol, which are fragrant components, which shows us that in terms of the fragrant ingredients they use, there are a lot of them. And you know what's terrible too? After looking at this product, I was like, whoa, okay, obviously I think the fuck not. And I went to look at the complexion stick, the one that's a rollerball, and it's even worse. It literally has the same terrible ingredients, but even more essential oils and fragrant components. What are they thinking? I don't understand. So I don't recommend buying either of those. If you are wanting to find a good alternative for the brand, I would say go with their maximum strength spot solution. It has 2% salicylic acid and is formulated without a lot of those irritating components. I believe it still has fragrance, but it's going to be way better than either of the two I just mentioned. Or if you want my personal favorite recommendation, the Paula's Choice 2% BHA solution. This one is amazing. Whether you're using it on a spot or all over, just so good. It literally makes my pores look smaller. I love this product. I always recommend it to anyone who's struggling with acne or pimples. All the products that I'm talking about in today's video will be listed in the description box below. If you do feel like purchasing any of the Burt's Bees products or the alternative products that I mentioned, feel free to use those links. I make a small commission that helps to support me and my channel, and I would really appreciate it, but no pressure whatsoever. Thanks guys. The next product is the cleansing oil with argan and coconut oil, another product that I've seen get popular on TikTok. Now I love cleansing oils. I think they're amazing for getting rid of the makeup and the dirt and the sebum on the face, and definitely important for a double cleanse system. But looking at the ingredient list of this one, I thought it was just okay. The main ingredients that they use to actually break up everything on your face are just subpar. They're not the best types of oils out there, but they're also not the worst. However, this does have a very high concentration of fragrance, so high that argan and coconut oil are listed lower than fragrance. So you're telling me you're advertising this product to have argan and coconut oil when in reality it has a higher concentration of fragrance? You may as well just call it fragrant cleansing oil. And it's also $15, which isn't the worst price, but when I looked at the ingredient list, I was like, wow, that's kind of a ripoff. Alternatives I personally recommend, one of my favorites is the iUnique Calendula Cleansing Oil. The ingredient list of this is incredible, so good, really good for hydrating the skin, but also breaking up everything on your face. Next up is their classic lip balm, and I don't talk a lot about lip care on my channel, but because it's Burt's Bees, and for one specific reason, I did want to mention it. Now their classic lip balm, I don't actually think it's that bad, but it is formulated with fragrant components like linalool, peppermint, limonene, and eugeniol. Now I'm not super shocked or horrified to see that because the majority of lip care products out there have fragrance, but the reason I wanted to bring it up is because I believe that their original basic balm is so much better than all of their other lip balm formulas, especially like the medicated one. Avoid those ones altogether, any ones that have citrus on them or medicated, because they use ingredients like citrus extracts and menthol, which are only going to irritate your lip area, make it kind of sting. It's just good to avoid those altogether. Next up is their deep cleansing cream. This one claims to be a really hydrating cleanser, and I have to say I'm impressed with the price point. I mean, $7 for a cleanser, that's a pretty good price. As far as ingredients I like, it has sunflower seed oil and very hydrating surfactants. Surfactants are cleansing agents that you find in a cleanser. They're what going to work to get all the dirt out of your skin. However, the cleanser does have fragrance, limonene, and citral, which on their own I wouldn't think is too bad because I don't find fragrance too problematic in a wash-off formula if it's at a low concentration. However, there's an ingredient called alpha isomethylionone, which is a fragrant component that can be really sensitizing at extremely low concentrations. I'm talking like 0.001%. And when combined with other fragrant components like limonene and citral, it only heightens that irritation potential, which is why I would say this cleansing foam is like okay, definitely not the best. An alternative I would recommend from Burt's Bees is their Skin Nourishment Gentle Foaming Cleanser. The ingredients of this one are really good. It's going to cleanse your skin, on not overly strip it, but also make sure it's hydrated. It does have some fragrance, but I hardly smell it, and it's at a low concentration. And I think it's one of the best products they have, and I would honestly recommend this as a better alternative. Or if you are someone who has really dry skin, just going with the CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser. That one is so moisturizing and will work very similar to the cleansing cream from Burt's Bees. Next up is their Acne Solutions Purifying Gel Cleanser. This one's also really popular among teenagers specifically because it does have 1% salicylic acid, which is a great ingredient for going deep into your pores and pushing out all the dirt, specifically in a cleanser form, because in a cleanser form it usually is a lot more gentle than on a leave-on treatment. This one's actually pretty good because it does have really gentle surfactants and willow bark extract, which is a natural form of salicylic acid. It does have some fragrance, but I think it's fine because it's in a wash-off treatment. However, if you are someone who's sensitive to fragrance, an almost exact dupe is the CeraVe Salicylic Acid Renewing Cleanser. This one's so good because it also gives you that salicylic acid power, but without the fragrance and the irritants. But overall, I think this cleanser is pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised by the ingredient list, and I was like, okay, that's not the worst thing out there. I would get that. And now we're kind of moving into the products that I like from the brand. A new product from them is their cleansing balm. I was so excited when I saw this because when I looked at the ingredient list, it is polyethylene free. Yay! If you don't know, polyethylene is plastic, and it's put into cleansing balm formulas to kind of make it have like a nice slip and feel. But the problem is that when it's rinsed down the drain, it negatively affects marine wildlife, and it's not as easy to separate as, say, a plastic bottle would be in a landfill versus plastic getting into the ocean. And for that reason, I try to look for cleansing balms that are free of polyethylene. This also has meadow foam oil, sunflower seed oil, and sweet almond oil, all of which are really good hydrating oils. The only downside to this is that it is formulated with a good amount of fragrance, and it's definitely noticeable. You can smell the essential oils. But I am willing to forgive that because it is a wash-off treatment. You don't leave it on your face very long, and it's so freaking hard to find a cleansing balm formulated without polyethylene. And this is the only cleansing balm from the drugstore besides Neutrogena that I've been able to find that is polyethylene free, which is why I would recommend it. My experience with it was really good. It melted off everything on my face and was just a good cleansing balm. Next is their facial cleanser for sensitive skin. I did buy this one and I used it, but I can't find it. I mean, surprised that happens like every other video now because of how much fucking skincare I own. It's a problem. But the ingredients on this one are really good. It has rice extract, a bunch of different root extracts. It's fragrance free, yay! And while it does have a tiny bit of witch hazel and denatured alcohol, they're at such low percentages that I don't see them as a problem whatsoever. But overall, I think this is a really good cleanser, and I would say this one is better for dry skin, and this one's better for like normal to combination skin. And then finally, my favorite product from Burt's Bees. I'm so excited to talk about this one because this one took me completely by surprise. It is their Daily Sensitive Moisturizing Cream. I took interest in this one because it was fragrance free, but I was like, oh boy, here we go with another basic formula that's made for sensitive skin with not very exciting ingredient lists, and it's going to be really heavy and hydrating because people with sensitive skin usually have dry skin. You know that whole shabaka with every brand that makes a line for sensitive skin. But my experience with this one was so good. This is actually one of the most lightweight moisturizers I found at the drugstore. And I really wish I would have reviewed it sooner because I totally would have included this in my favorite drugstore moisturizer video. I was skeptical at first, but I really ended up loving the results of this one. This is part of their sensitive skin line where the main ingredient is cottonseed oil, an ingredient that I very rarely find in skincare products. But cottonseed oil is good because it's an occlusive ingredient. And whenever you have sensitized or damaged skin, you always want to make sure that you have products that have occlusives because it's going to prevent any transepidermal water loss in your skin. Tool is when we lose water through our skin, which increases aging, sensitivity, dryness, and making sure you have a good occlusive ingredient list to hold that water in is best. It's formulated with sunflower seed oil, rice extracts, root extracts, jojoba oil, kaolin clay, and actually a high concentration of zinc oxide, which zinc oxide has some sun protection abilities. Now, I'm not saying that this is a sunscreen, but I'd say when you use your sunscreen on top of it, it's going to provide a little bit more SPF protection to your skin. Honestly, I'm so impressed with this one, and I will continue using it because that's how much I've enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it for anyone who does have more, I'd say, normal to oily skin. I think you're definitely going to like this moisturizer, and for the price point, it's just totally worth it. And that's all the products. Now let's get into my final thoughts on the brand. As far as things I don't like, this is a very naturally focused brand. I mean, on every single product, you will find the percentage of natural ingredients. And it really bugs me when I see skincare companies do this. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's better because it could be unethically sourced. There's a lot of potential for irritation. I just am not on the whole natural skincare bandwagon. I also don't like that a lot of their products are formulated with undisclosed fragrance and essential oils. I would have so much more respect for Burt's Bees if they would actually list out the fragrant ingredients that they use instead of just labeling it fragrance fragrance. But whenever a company just says fragrance on their ingredient label, it disempowers the consumer to know what ingredients are made up in this product. And honey, those products that are formulated with a high concentration of essential oils, bitch, bye. Nope, not a fan. And I also don't like that Burt's Bees kind of follows more amateur skincare trends, like all the facial scrubs, the facial rolling sticks, all the citrus products. Those are very trend-based skincare things, and it usually turns me off when I see a brand making those types of products. However, as for my positives, some of the products from Burt's Bees were really good. I mean, that moisturizer, I think the formula is amazing, and I do think that they have some great options for sensitive skin. I love that the company focuses on sustainability and ethics because those are just as important as a skincare formula to me, and while it can be hard to find companies with that level of ethics at a drugstore price point, I like that Burt's Bees is offering that. I also like that the brand is super accessible. I mean, you can find them at the majority of drugstores out there, and I think they have an incredible price point. I mean, like, most of their products are $15 or less, some of their cleansers being like $7 or $9. That is incredible, and I will always celebrate a company making their price points as low as possible to be the most accessible to people of all income ranges. So overall, I have to say, even with a lot of shitty skincare products, I am actually a fan of Burt's Bees, and I think they are a good company, and I think with some positive reinforcement pushing them to release more fragrance-free formulas, I think it's a really good company for the price points. And I would recommend you guys check out the products I liked. What do you guys think? I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on the brand. I'd love to know your opinions. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do we share some of the same favorites? I want to know. Don't forget to subscribe to my second YouTube channel called Selfless, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week, and I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.